Today we will talk something about symbolism in the rhyme of the ancient mariner. Before that, we'll try to have a brief look at the meaning of the word symbol. In fact, something which stands for some other thing is a symbol. In that simple sense, as M.H. Abrams, for example, tells us, all words are symbols because words they don't actually refer to those printed marks on the pages or written marks on the paper, but they signify some other thing. That is a general sense. But in a more specific sense, something, a word which refers to something, when that reference is extended to some other thing beyond that, that is a symbol. For example, sun. The word sun plainly may refer to that effulgent globe that we see in the sky every day and all that, then it is not a symbol. But in uh, poems or other literary texts, when sun is used to signify, for example, knowledge, life, you know, the when someone dies, some very prominent person, we say the sun is set, then the word sun here becomes a symbol. So like that, common symbols are snow is generally related to death, snow and ice, bird to soul generally, rose very prominent to love. Here a minor distinction, oh my love is like a red rose that is newly sprung in June. This is specifically simile because the comparison is there. That the rose's symbol is made explicit here by comparing, I mean giving two pairs, rose and my love. But in symbol proper, the compared thing is actually absent. You have to understand it. So, when we come to the rhyme of the ancient mariner, this interestingly is a poem laden with so many symbolisms. It is difficult to exhaust it in a short discussion like this. I have planned to make videos shorter because we cannot upload long videos now. I have to be awake and alert for 4 to 5 hours. That is really difficult due to this network congestion. Anyway, so quickly let us understand. So the Albatross, for example, or even ancient mariner, the ancient mariner itself is a symbol. Who is he a symbol of? He is, I would argue, part Adam, and later he becomes almost a kind of a Christ figure. When the albatross is hung around his neck, he is a sinner, but at the same time he becomes a Christ figure, as Christ said that everyone has to carry or bear his own cross. Christ did it for others' sins, though, and here mariner partially, though he kills, he atones for others' sins also because others had contributed later by saying that the albatross was a bad thing, though initially they had said this is a good thing. So Christ figure, Adam figure, and then generally, if we go beyond that to speak more generally, the ancient mariner is a kind of everyman. All of us lost in the ocean of life, are like the ancient mariners. And here another symbol comes. Ocean or sea in ancient mariner is not the physical ocean or sea, but psychologically the ocean of consciousness or even subconsciousness. Though Freud was to come later, but many critics have said that the romantic poets of England were in a way the forerunners or precursor of Freudian psychology. So the sea or the ocean, we were the first that ever burst into that silent sea, that kind of thing from the poem. So sea also is a symbol, so on and so forth. But the most potent symbol is the albatross. Albatross, again, what is it a symbol of? It is a symbol of nature. It signifies nature, nature's innocence. Then it also signifies God. That part is clearly indicated in the poem. At length did cross an albatross, through the fog it came, as if it had been a Christian soul, we hailed it in God's name. So in the poem itself, it is compared to a Christian soul, a Christ figure, and in fact, the albatross gets killed, very much like Christ was crucified. So you see, Christ figure is more prominently attached with the albatross than with mariner. So there are crisscrossing of symbols. So I hope you have understood actually. So, and then death, life in death, the figures that are coming towards that ship. He has made almost, alive certain concepts which you use in life. Life in death is when we, or rather, death in life is when we are alive but we suffer so much that we think it is better if we are dead. There have been situations like this with many, or there may be. So that is death in life, or life and death also you can say. And then direct death is of course direct death. They too have been made into symbol. Snow, the ice was here, the ice was there, the ice was all around. It cracked and growled and roared and howled like noises in a sound from the poem. So ice, symbolically, ice is symbol of sterility, of death, of lack of life, vegetation. Clear? So water, water everywhere, and all the boats did shrink. Water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. So water is a symbol of life. It is of course obviously understood, but also water has a redeeming feature in religions, especially Christianity, Catholicism, baptism, from water to water. There's a poem, beautiful poem by a modernist poet. So the water in the womb which sustains us, that will come from water. And then baptism, the sprinkling of the water. So water everywhere, nor any drip, not a drop to drink, means there was no redemption, no redeeming. So the sun is a symbol in a way, the moon is a symbol. Okay, so 6 to 7 symbols I have discussed. So this is how the Ancient Mariner is a highly symbolic poem, and not only the Ancient Mariners, apart from return to nature, return to past, return to medievalism, which we have discussed in other poems, all the romantic poets were great symbolists. And there are intertextual relations with the French symbolist movements in poetry. You explore that a little on your own, but remember, all romantic poets are great symbolists also. And